Hello guys, welcome to another Clark Knives video. Today I'm going to be showing y'all how to sharpen a knife with a whetstone set. This is the whetstone set I have. There's a coarse, medium, and then a fine. And this is my Shepherd Hills cutlery set, tri-stone I guess you could call it. But anyways, I've been using my GR knife a lot, and I haven't really sharpened it just because it doesn't need it, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of redo it a little bit. Not really redo it, but make it a little bit, sharpen it just a little bit extra. Anyways, so usually before I start, what I'll do is I'll take this honing oil. Let's see here. So I'll go ahead. I won't put much on the stone just because it don't usually take much, at least from what I've kind of practiced with. I've watched one video on how to sharpen my knife on a stone set, and it only talked about angles. So I don't really know, what to do, how to do it. I've just done it this way, and it has always worked for me. So if y'all do it any other way, be more than happy to tell me. I'm always open ears. I'd like to hear how y'all sharpen your knife. But anyways, what I do is I go ahead and tap. I don't usually squeeze it on there, get a whole bunch on there. I just get enough, get a couple drops down the stone. And I've heard from a couple people that I know that if you're gonna use water, you always have to use water. If you're gonna use oil, you always gotta use oil. Or if it's going to be a dry stone, you got to always leave it dry. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. So like I said, this is completely opinion based and how I do it. If I do it wrong, oh well, this is just always what's worked for me. So what I do is I will set it on here, and if you're new to this and you can't really keep the angles well, what I do is I like to set the knife pretty flat, and then I'll bring it up. Let me see if I can show you a little better. I'll set it down like this, and then I'll bring it up until you can't see the gap underneath there. Now, this is pretty round knife, so it's, on certain spots it's not going to be perfectly round. Or perfectly flat, I mean. So I'll just take this, I'll lift it up until I can't see it, and I'll just drag it. And you can, if you go real slow, you can usually always maintain a perfect angle. And if you got a nice good edge on there, and it's even and everything, I'll usually do 3 to 4 times on each side. So we're going to go ahead and switch. What I'll do is I'll lay it flat until I bring it up until I can't see underneath that edge anymore. And whenever you're sharpening, that oil will distribute throughout the whole stone from where your blade is, and your blade will get the oil on it. So, I mean, pretty good situation there. It's all over the blade and on the stone, just in the points of where it contacts, because whenever you get the oil on your blade, it'll kind of spread out a little bit. And it looks a little thicker down here. Usually I don't mess with that. You can use the coarse stone to, really even things out and make sure it's absolutely perfect, but I don't, it doesn't bother me that much. I don't usually cut stuff way down here at the very edge of the knife, so like I said, no big deal. Just as long as the majority of the blade is even. And if you're putting a new edge on a knife, all I recommend is putting it at the angle you want it, dragging it, and just be sure to hold that angle. Just go as slow as possible, because if you go really slow, you're going to be able to maintain your angle a lot more. Now I've done this a lot, so I mean, I don't really have to go slow anymore. I can just kind of stick it on there and keep going. Also, another way people do it, they'll go this way and then this way. I can't do that because I like to see my edge. So what I'll do is I'll just switch hands, and I'll let y'all see. I'll just switch hands, that way I can always see that edge. And we'll switch again. I'll probably do, and then, you know, closer to whenever I get done sharpening the knife, I'll do a couple, and then I'll do one on each side. Like I said, this knife doesn't really need that much sharpening done just because it's still pretty sharp, but I kind of wanted to give it a nice little polish. That was 3, but it'll be okay. I'm sure one pass isn't going to really make a super big difference. Probably do 2 on this and then finish that up. Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll just wipe the edge off, and I've got a leather belt that has a rough side with the grain, and I'll usually run that. So here, I'll just use this as an example. Pretend that there is, you know, rough leather right here. So this would be your rough side, where the grain is on the outside. And I mean, you could honestly, if you've got a sheath that's like this, you could use this to kind of strop your blade edge. So what I do is I'll take it and I'll just run it like this a couple times. Of course, on my belt it's a little bit wider and a lot longer, so I can get longer strokes. I don't know if this helps, but after every sharpen that I've ever done and then ran it across the belt, I could always shave my hair with it. So I've just done it. It don't take very long. So if it helps, great. If it doesn't, you know, I'm not out much time. I don't really keep track of how many swipes I do on each side either. I just get a nice good halfway even, and until I think it's going to be great. But anyways, as you can see, this knife edge is fairly shiny now. It's almost a mirror polish. Yeah, but as far as sharpening goes, that's about all I've got. If you want to put a new edge on a knife, like I put a new edge on a new pocket knife I got on a live stream not too long ago, and I ran it across the coarse stone for quite a while. But after you're done with that coarse stone, it really don't take much on the medium and fine, especially after you get a nice polish on the blade from the medium. You can go to that fine stone and it really don't take long. But if you're putting a new edge, it usually takes the longest on the coarse stone. But yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. I have been slacking with videos here recently just because I haven't had many ideas. I've been waiting for some stuff to come in for some new videos, so I'll be making a lot here soon. I'll go ahead and show y'all this knife if you haven't seen it yet. This is my GR Knives. There's not really a name for it. He just forged it for me. We did a trade for it. So GR Knives, he's a YouTuber here on YouTube. Go check him out. He's got some pretty sweet content. I definitely recommend go watching him. He's another smaller YouTube channel. But yeah, absolutely sweet knife. This is in 1084 carbon steel, and then this is canvas micarta handles. And it's kind of like just like a little skinning knife, kind of like an everyday carry bird and, you know, fish knife, if you want to call it, I guess. But yeah, I appreciate everybody watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time.